Authority and obedience, most people think they're chains that hold us back. But what if these ancient concepts actually contain the secret to human freedom and flourishing?
That's such an intriguing perspective, especially when you consider how our modern society tends to view authority with deep skepticism.
Well, you know what fascinates me most? These ancient teachings present authority not as some oppressive force, but as something woven into the natural fabric of existence, like gravity or the changing of seasons.
Hmm. The way you put that makes me think about how different this is from our current cultural narrative. How do we bridge that gap?
That's exactly where these teachings become so relevant. Look at this powerful quote: God made human beings in the beginning and then left them free to make their own decisions. It's acknowledging both our freedom and our need for guidance.
You know what's interesting about that? It reminds me of studies in developmental psychology showing that children actually feel more secure and confident when they have clear boundaries.
Right. And here's what's really profound. The text explicitly addresses personal responsibility. It states we can't blame divine authority for our mistakes, saying, "Do not say the Lord was responsible for my sinning." This completely shifts the paradigm.
So it's suggesting that true freedom comes through understanding and accepting certain fundamental principles rather than rejecting all authority?
Exactly. And let's talk about this fascinating metaphor they use about fire and water. It's saying that we're presented with clear choices. But here's the key: this freedom exists within a structure that helps us understand the consequences of our choices.
Well, that's exactly like modern organizational theory. The most effective leaders don't rely on coercion, but on creating systems where following their guidance naturally leads to better outcome.
And you know what's really interesting? The text specifically mentions that God never commanded anyone to be godless and has given no one permission to sin. This suggests that even the highest authority operates within moral constraints.
That's such an important safeguard against the abuse of power, isn't it? It sets clear boundaries for authority itself.
And here's another layer. It talks about conquering evil with the blood of the Lamb. This imagery suggests that ultimate authority comes through sacrifice and love, not through force or domination.
The way you're connecting these dots really highlights how sophisticated this understanding of authority is. It's not just about control, but about wisdom and proper order.
And perhaps that's the most relevant message for our times, that authority, when properly understood, should be life-giving rather than life-taking. It should create spaces for growth while maintaining necessary boundaries.
That really helps reframe the whole discussion about authority in our modern context, doesn't it?
Well, I think it brings us full circle to where we started, this delicate balance between freedom and authority. When we get this balance right, it leads to both individual flourishing and collective harmony. It's not about choosing between freedom and authority, but understanding how they work together for the good of all.
And maybe that's the real wisdom here, learning to navigate authority in a way that honors both our individual conscience and our collective need for order and structure.
You know, as we wrap up, I can't help but think about how this ancient wisdom might be exactly what we need in our increasingly fragmented modern world. It's showing us that true freedom isn't about rejection of authority, but about finding the right relationship with it.